All right, welcome back. We're bringing it home and then we're going to show you what to do with the money when you make it. But right now, we're going to talk about closing and the closing process. This is bringing your real estate deals, being creative or traditional, out the back end and what you need in order to do it. Typically, I'm going to like to call this organized chaos because when you really think about it, when you think about what it is you had to put together and orchestrate to pull this shit off, you had to talk to a seller. You probably had to talk to at least the seller's spouse, if not their entire family. You might have had to relocate them. You probably had to talk to a realtor or somebody in my office to get comps. Then you had to sell this damn thing. But before you did that, you had to actually talk to the bank and order a payoff. You had to talk to the title company, order title, make sure it was clear. You had to cloud the title, maybe talk to somebody in the courthouse, probably talk to a notary. Then you had to talk to about a bajillion buyers, restore people's credit, meet with them, talk to mortgage brokers, get it sold, orchestrate a couple lawyers, orchestrate a title company, and all the other stuff I'm about to show you here in the towns and everybody else just to make sure you're completely compliant. There could be 30, 40 parties that you have to maintain a relationship with when you think about it just to get one of these things closed. And if they all like you and know you, it's going to go a lot smoother than you ever imagined. So, organized chaos. Here's what you got to do, and here's what you got to know in order to put all your ducks in a row for a quick closing. These are things that will prevent your transactions from closing. They will cost you weeks, months, on rare occasion, even years. And even if you're not making payments on that, the meter is running. So those mortgage payments are coming out of your equity, they're coming out of your proceeds. So here we go. All right. Attorneys and closing agents. I'm in New Jersey, North Jersey, we use attorneys. South Jersey, a lot of times we're going to use title agents. They're pretty much the same, but if you get attorneys involved, and remember, I encouraged you to steer people, especially if you're not selling as a realtor, because you can't steer as a realtor. But if you're actually the owner of the property, steering is the greatest fucking thing on planet Earth, and it should be done all the time, every time. Why would you want to be in a position with less control? Oh, God. Right? Make sure the attorneys know each other. Make sure they play nice together. Make sure you have a relationship with them. Let's say make sure you're on a texting basis. Don't bother them. But if they play golf together on Sunday, they could talk to you or talk to each other about this transaction on the course. I guarantee it's going to go quick. A lot of times, if I have a lawyer that I use on my transactions, I will flat out ask them, who's another lawyer that you play nice together? I want to refer my buyers to them. Do it. You're welcome. Title companies, same thing. I don't read title. We gave you title contact with this course. Tarika's got an excellent product, and that's nationwide. So you're welcome. You can order all your title searches there. It's pretty easy. And honestly, your title company should be pretty forthcoming with the information. We already know that I don't read title. They'll send me back a title report. I'll ask for bullet points. What's broken? How do I fix it? A lot of times they'll tell me, find the title policy from the previous owner, the guy I got the house from. That'll take care of most of the issues on title. If there's other things, if I need to get payoffs, help them obtain them. Help everybody in this process. How can I help you do your job, title company? You will know more and you will get an education that you never would have gotten from this or any program. Most programs never even talk about title. It's pretty sad. And you'll get smarter and smarter, and new ways will reveal themselves to make this stuff sail through quickly all the time, every time. Town requirements, whatever town you're in, all right, call that town, tell them, I am selling my property at 123 Main Street. What do I need to get to be in compliance with you, town? And the town will tell you a list of shit. There are a few towns with very few requirements. I am in North Jersey. Most of the towns have many requirements. You're going to need a CO or a COO. It's a certificate of occupancy. A lot of times they're going to have an inspector come out. They're going to look around. They're going to make sure everything's up to code. Okay, you got smoke detectors. You got a fire detector. You know, this place is livable. We're going to certify that humans can occupy this place. Here you go. It's the town's way of extorting you for 50, 100 bucks, whatever it is. And they work part-time. A lot of times I truly believe that they hate their life. They're almost a minimum wage job, and they just want to drag their feet until you can't make it till next month because they know that you're suffering and you have to make another mortgage payment. And they also know that you're going to make more money off this transaction than they make in a year because everything's public record and they can see what's owed on the property and they have a pretty good idea of what you sold it for. A lot of times they'll even ask. So if they see that you're going to make six figures, don't expect them to move too fucking quick, especially if you're a young guy or girl and the person behind the counter is old. Do what I always do, get to know them personally, get to know their name, bring them coffee, be their friend, because just like school, it is really hard to fail your friend. Some towns will require a smoke and fire certification or a CO2 inspection, depending upon the town and how many times I've operated there before. Sometimes they'll tell you where they want their smoke detectors, where they want their carbon monoxide detectors. We buy smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in my office by the case. We got a couple cars driving around with them in the back, in boxes, all the time, every time. And with that, we also have a Sharpie marker and some Velcro tape. And a lot of times, like a town like Teaneck or Englewood or wherever, yeah, I'll meet the fire marshal for the 100th time, and I'll go, so where do you want them? I mean, why? You didn't put them in yet? Don't worry, I got you. Well, we should have one here in the kitchen, X, tape off smoke detector, up. Should have another one by the bedrooms, up. Where do you want the carbon monoxide detector? Up. And where do you want the fire extinguisher? By the stove, here it is. Drills in my car, I'm going to start putting it in. Can I pass already? You'll be happy. Just be ready all the time and make sure you're compliant. Lead paint certificate is another thing that you're going to encounter in older towns. And if the houses are, 60s or older, they're going to have lead paint. It's there. It's not something that you can fix, but it can be painted over and encapsulated. And somebody comes out with a little razor blade, scrapes some stuff off, make sure that there's no red paint or lead paint, whatever they scraped off, and they keep moving. Definitely call your town, tell them you're selling your house, especially once you got an agreement to sell it. It's a really good time to make that call and make sure you're compliant so you don't get to the closing table and they go, oh, we're going to have to hold all your funds because the inspector can't come out for 2 weeks. Survey is something that you're going to need for title insurance. You're going to need it for property insurance, which we're going to go over in a minute. And your mortgage company is probably going to need it as well. Remember, when you bought this property on the front end, I was a big advocate of you getting all the paperwork on that particular house. Well, you got it. There's a thing there that looked like a little treasure map. That was a survey. A lot of times you can get that recertified, get the title company, save $650. If you don't have one and they need it, we provided you guys, at least if you're in Jersey, with a list of people who you can call to get a survey done. If not, these people aren't that hard to find. Go to your local real estate investment club, ask them who they use, call them up. You're probably going to leave a message. These people are engineers. A lot of times they're totally socially inept. What's going on? And all of a sudden, you get a survey in the mail with a bill and it'll be done. It's weird. I don't know why it happens like that, but it does. They just don't have any social skills. Insurance. I'm including my insurance guy and a couple other insurance guys with this course as well. Typically what we do, so I'll call them up and I'll go, look, I'm selling this property for this much. Here's my buyer. Here's the mortgage company. I know the buyer probably doesn't know that they need property insurance. I want you to set it up, make sure they have enough of everything so that they're covered. They can manipulate it after the fact. I want you to bind this off the HUD statement. So when it closes, that lawyer or that title company will cut a check directly to the insurance company and our new buyer is insured. No money out of pocket for you. That comes out of the closing costs from the seller's concession I taught you how to give them. You're welcome on that. If not, it's not uncommon to get to the closing table and then have your buyer realize that they didn't need property insurance and they can delay it anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days or weeks. Mortgages, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, we already know that steering is the right thing to do because you're an investor, not a realtor. And title company, mortgages, lawyers, buyers, sellers, insurance, everything else. If I had to pick one piece I can control on every deal, it would be the financing. I want to control the financing above all else because that's where the money is, right? So if my lawyer doesn't want to play ball, doesn't like something, I can always kick him to the curb and find another one. Title company doesn't like something, well, some other title company will. I'll take my business elsewhere. But mortgages, especially as we start to go through this credit crunch and lending guidelines tighten up, are going to be harder and harder to get. They're what get you cashed out. They're what get you paid. A good mortgage broker is worth his weight in gold. He's like Jesus Christ and he walks on water. I already introduced you to one of those, and I hope that really helps you out. Finally, your mortgage broker is going to tell you some magical fucking words that you really just are going to start to learn the love healing. You're going to hear clear to close. Now, clear to close is like, all right, barring your seller's or your buyer's death, nothing is going to stop you from getting paid. So now you just got to check all the boxes that the title company and the lender wants you to check. Come up with a date and time. Everybody can get together or sign off on everything separately. You're going to sign a deed, a couple other docs, a HUD statement. The buyer's going to sign a phone book full of shit, binding them to whatever amount that they bought the house for, that they took a mortgage out for, and you're going to get paid. And finally, and this is something that's really almost never talked about by anybody but me, when I close, I like to use a buyer's acknowledgement. This is a back-ended CYA letter. We've included this in the copy of the course, and this just basically says exactly the same thing as our front-end CYA letter. They did everything of their own free will. They went out and they applied for this loan. I didn't fucking help them. They went out and got it. And if I did help them, here's how I helped them, and it's outlined right there. Okay, this way nobody can come through and say we didn't do something, we sold them something they couldn't afford, whatever. Because if they lose their job 5 years from now and they can't pay for the house and the economy tanks, they're gonna fucking blame it on you, and this always helps. Finally, lastly, we used to do thank you letters. Nowadays, in this day and age, with video cameras on your iPhone and everything else, I would just bust it out, get a testimonial right there on the spot when emotions are high. If nothing else, it will help you sell more houses in the future. And that, in conjunction with the buyer's acknowledgement, which we already know is a back-ended CYA letter, which we should get on every property when we sell, and a thank you letter. You know, if they ever want to come back and say that you did something that you should not have, which you have not, this just covers your ass. But you need to remember, once you get really good at this, you will be making money. The more money you make in this world, the wronger and wronger you are. And the more money people can see that you have, the more likely it will be that you will get sued for no good reason whatsoever. So these things will definitely help. My name is Chuck Kohout. Would always be closing. I hope you've really enjoyed this video and this course, and I hope a lot of the resources can really help you get it done and take your investing to the next level. We are going to do one more module after this, where I'm going to bring on my friend Edwin Kelly, who runs the self-directed retirement company, and we're going to show you what to do with the money when you make it. We're going to show you how all these transaction styles that we've shown you and many more have been approved to do in your self-directed Roth IRA, tax-free for life. This has been a pleasure. My name is Chuck Kohout. Bye for now.